Why do some people seem to secretly dislike us, even when we've done nothing apparent to earn their disdain? It's a perplexing scenario that many of us encounter. Surprisingly, these secret resentments aren't always about what we've done. They can stem from what others perceive about us, from our successes to the way we carry ourselves. It's the silent battles, the unspoken judgments that simmer beneath the surface, influencing relationships and social dynamics in ways we might not immediately recognize. Today we're going to unravel the mystery behind these hidden animosities. We'll explore 9 compelling reasons why people might harbor negative feelings towards you in secret. Stoicism teaches us that understanding the nature of our external challenges is as crucial as managing our internal reactions. This insight not only helps us navigate through social complexities, but also empowers us to maintain our composure and integrity in the face of silent opposition. Your engagement and thoughtful responses bring depth to our exploration. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and join us as we delve into these intriguing aspects of human relationships. Are you ready to uncover what might be lurking in the shadows of social perceptions? Let's dive into the subtle dynamics of why people may secretly dislike you and how Stoic wisdom can guide us through understanding and managing these hidden tensions. Number 1. Envy and jealousy. It's interesting how often envy and jealousy come into play when we're talking about the negative feelings people might harbor against us. Envy and jealousy are perhaps some of the most complex emotions we face in our interactions with others. It's fascinating, really, how these feelings can sneak up on us, or how we might see them unravel in the lives of those around us. Let's say you've just received a promotion, or perhaps bought your first house. While many will genuinely celebrate your achievements, there might be a few who view your success through a different lens, one tinted with envy. Plato sheds light on this phenomenon quite insightfully. He suggested that envy is born from seeing others possess what we desire but lack. The key here isn't just the wanting, it's the feeling that somehow we're falling behind or failing because we haven't achieved the same. This can twist admiration into something darker. Instead of being inspired by your success, someone might see it as a reflection of their own shortcomings. In the realm of friendships or professional relationships, this can manifest subtly. You might notice a friend suddenly seems less communicative when you share good news, or a colleague might pass snide remarks or downplay your achievements. These are classic signs that envy might be at play, and while it's natural to feel hurt or confused by these reactions, Stoicism offers us a grounding perspective. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our internal reactions and to maintain control over them, rather than trying to control external circumstances or the emotions of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." This is a powerful reminder that we can choose not to internalize the negativity bred by others' envy. Instead, we can view their envy as a signal of their inner conflicts or unmet aspirations, which really have little to do with us personally. This doesn't mean we should be indifferent to the feelings of others, but rather that we approach these situations with a kind of compassionate detachment. Recognizing the root of their envy allows us to empathize with their struggles without letting their views disrupt our peace of mind. It's about maintaining our tranquility and continuing on our path, steadfast in our values and self-awareness. Handling envy also means fostering an environment where successes are shared and celebrated as communal victories rather than individual conquests. This isn't just about humility, but about crafting a culture, whether among friends or colleagues, that values collective growth and mutual support. After all, as Aristotle pointed out, the antidote for 50 enemies is one friend. By emphasizing collaboration and shared goals, we can mitigate feelings of jealousy and transform potential rivalries into opportunities for collective achievement. Number 2. Misunderstandings and ineffective communication. You'd be surprised how often just a tiny miscommunication can lead to big issues. Think about the last time someone misinterpreted your words or your tone. That one moment can change someone's entire perception of you, turning what might have been a simple conversation into a breeding ground for resentment. It's these small gaps between what we mean to convey and how it's received that can really stack up, leading others to view us as distant, disrespectful, or worse. Consider the workplace, where the stakes are often higher and the scope for miscommunication is vast. Perhaps a manager gives feedback that is intended to be constructive but is perceived as harsh criticism by an employee. The employee might feel undervalued or attacked, leading to resentment or disengagement. Here, the original message's intention gets lost in translation, illustrating how crucial clarity and tone are in our communications. In these situations, Stoicism provides a valuable toolkit. It teaches us not to react immediately to perceived slights or confusing messages, but to seek clarity first. Epictetus advised, "Don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself." If we apply this to misunderstandings, it means holding off on forming a judgment until we have all the facts. Instead of assuming the worst, we can ask questions to uncover the intent behind the words used. Effective communication, according to Stoic principles, also involves listening with intent to understand, not just to reply. This is where active listening comes into play. By truly hearing what others are saying, without preparing our response or letting our thoughts wander, we engage more deeply and can grasp the full context of their message. This prevents many misunderstandings that stem from half-listened conversations and distracted interactions. Furthermore, practicing empathy is crucial. Trying to see the situation from the other person's perspective can illuminate why they communicated in a certain way. Maybe they were rushed, stressed, or misunderstood the initial instructions themselves. By considering these factors, we can respond more appropriately and foster a more understanding atmosphere. In navigating the rough waters of communication, it's helpful to remember that everyone has their unique style and comfort level with expressing themselves. Some might be more direct, while others rely on subtleties. Recognizing and adapting to these differences can reduce the frequency of misunderstandings. As we work on our communication skills, focusing on clarity, empathy, and patience, guided by Stoic calmness, we not only improve our interactions, but also contribute to more positive and productive relationships. This approach not only resolves immediate issues, but also strengthens our long-term connections, making every conversation a building block for deeper mutual respect and understanding. Number 3. Differences in fundamental values and beliefs. Have you ever had a heated debate with a friend about a political issue or a family member about personal choices that just seem to go nowhere? It's because our fundamental values and beliefs play a profound role in shaping our perceptions and reactions. They act as lenses through which we view the world, influencing everything from the choices we make to the people we feel connected to. When these core beliefs clash with those of others, it can ignite significant discord. Plato brilliantly encapsulated this when he discussed the allegory of the cave, suggesting that what we perceive as reality is heavily influenced by our subjective experiences and beliefs. Imagine attending a family reunion where everyone is expected to follow certain traditions, yet you decide to break from the norm. While some might admire your individuality, others could view your actions as disrespectful or misguided, simply because their values dictate a strict adherence to tradition. This divergence can lead to discomfort or even outright conflict, as each party struggles to reconcile their differing views. In scenarios like these, Stoic principles offer a grounding perspective. Stoicism teaches us the value of understanding and respecting differences, advocating for a rational and detached approach to conflicts. According to Marcus Aurelius, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This introspective approach encourages us not to judge hastily, but to reflect on our biases and limitations. Applying this to disagreements over values and beliefs, it's helpful to strive for empathy rather than immediate agreement. Acknowledging that another person's beliefs are shaped by their unique experiences and upbringing can open the door to more respectful and constructive discussions. Rather than attempting to convert or convince, we can aim to understand and coexist. Moreover, engaging in dialogues about differing values can be enriching, offering us a chance to broaden our horizons and deepen our understanding of the world. For instance, a conversation with a colleague from a different cultural background can illuminate practices and values vastly different from our own, yet equally valid and rational within their context. Such exchanges, when approached with openness and respect, can lessen the likelihood of conflict and enhance our collective empathy. Stoicism also reminds us of the importance of focusing on what can be controlled. We cannot change another person's beliefs, but we can control our reactions and choose how deeply we let these differences affect us. By maintaining a calm demeanor and choosing our battles wisely, we can navigate through life's diverse social landscapes without losing our peace of mind. Number 4. The influence of rumors and gossip. It's amazing how a few whispered words can spread like wildfire, affecting perceptions and relationships long before the truth has a chance to put on its shoes. Let's say someone starts a rumor that a co-worker is about to be fired. Without any substantial proof, this rumor can create unnecessary panic and mistrust within the team, possibly damaging the reputation of both the individual and those who spread the gossip. Plato was quite critical of gossip, viewing it as a form of injustice. He believed that allowing false representations to spread not only harms the subject of the gossip, but diminishes the integrity of those who indulge in it. This ties back to his ideas on the Republic, about creating a just society, one where truth and virtue are upheld above falsehood and deceit. In our daily lives, gossip can often seem harmless or even entertaining, but its impact can be profoundly negative. Consider a scenario in your local community where a rumor about a neighbor's personal life starts circulating. This can lead to social ostracism or mental distress for the individual concerned, regardless of the rumor's validity. It's a stark reminder of how crucial it is to be mindful of the information we spread and the conversations we participate in. Stoicism provides a valuable framework for dealing with rumors and gossip. The philosophy teaches us to concern ourselves only with what is within our control, our own actions and responses. As Epictetus famously said, if you hear that someone is speaking ill of you, instead of trying to defend yourself, you should say, "He obviously does not know me very well, since there are so many other faults he could have mentioned." This perspective helps us maintain our equanimity and focus on our integrity rather than getting caught up in the potentially toxic cycles of gossip. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to practice discretion and to speak only that which is necessary and true. By fostering a habit of thoughtful communication, we not only prevent the spread of rumors, but also contribute to a more trustworthy and supportive environment. Whether in the office, amongst friends, or within our family circles, being a source of truth and reliability builds our character and deepens our relationships. It's also beneficial to actively counteract gossip by promoting transparency and open lines of communication. For instance, If a workplace is rife with rumors about company stability, management can address these directly in meetings, providing clear and honest updates about the business's health. This openness can alleviate concerns and stifle the spread of unfounded rumors. Handling rumors and gossip with a Stoic approach means not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the unreliable chatter and whispers of others. It involves cultivating a strong sense of self and a commitment to truth that stands firm even in the face of falsehood. By embodying these principles, we not only protect our own peace of mind, but also become beacons of stability and truth in our communities. This doesn't just reduce the negative impact of rumors, it also enhances our own well-being and the integrity of our social interactions. Number 5. Personal insecurities and projection. Everybody has insecurities in some form or another, right? Whether it's about how we look, our careers, or perhaps our social status, these inner doubts can sometimes feel like an endless battle. When left unchecked, they can push us to project our insecurities onto others, turning internal battles into external conflicts. Imagine a colleague who is very critical of others' work achievements because they themselves feel inadequate in their job role. This isn't just about professional jealousy. It's a reflection of their deep-seated fears and uncertainties about their own capabilities. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, deeply understood the power of projection. He suggested that what we often dislike in others is actually a reflection of the parts of ourselves we deny or dislike. When someone projects these feelings, they're essentially saying, "I'm uncomfortable with this aspect of myself, so I'm going to attribute it to you." It's an unconscious defense mechanism, and understanding this can dramatically change how we perceive interactions that may initially seem hostile or inexplicable. For example, let's say someone is always irritable or critical whenever you share your success or happiness with them. It might not be that they resent you per se, but rather that your happiness mirrors the happiness they wish they had in their lives. Stoicism offers a pathway to handle such situations with grace and empathy. Stoic teachings remind us to look inward and focus on our reactions and behaviors, rather than attempting to control or change others. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" By applying this introspective approach, we can better understand and navigate interactions clouded by others' insecurities. Rather than reacting defensively when someone projects their insecurities onto us, we can choose to respond with compassion. Recognizing the root of their actions as their struggle with self-doubt or fear allows us to detach from any negativity they might project and instead respond with understanding and patience. Additionally, being aware of our insecurities and how we might project them onto others is crucial. This self-awareness can prevent misunderstandings and foster healthier relationships, both personally and professionally. For instance, if you find yourself feeling unusually critical of a friend's lifestyle choices, it might be worth exploring whether their lifestyle highlights your unfulfilled desires or insecurities. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us not only to be aware of our projections, but also to work on the underlying insecurities themselves. This might mean engaging in self-reflection, seeking feedback, and setting personal goals to improve areas where we feel insecure. By addressing these areas head-on, we not only reduce the likelihood of projecting our insecurities onto others, but also enhance our overall well-being and self-confidence. Personal insecurities and projection are not just triggers for conflict, they are opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Understanding the dynamics of projection can help us build empathy, improve our relationships, and lead more fulfilled lives. It's about turning inward, facing our shadows with courage, and cultivating a genuine acceptance and understanding of ourselves and others. Number 6. Lack of empathy and understanding. Isn't it true that sometimes we just don't get where the other person is coming from? This lack of empathy and understanding is like missing a vital piece of a puzzle. Without it, the full picture just can't come together. Picture a friend who's upset over something that seems trivial to you, like getting overly distressed over a small change in plans. Without empathy, our first reaction might be frustration or dismissal, but stepping into their shoes might reveal deeper issues. Perhaps they feel their needs are often overlooked, or they crave stability due to past unpredictability. Plato emphasized the importance of understanding others in his dialogues, illustrating how our perceptions are often limited to our personal experiences, much like the prisoners in the allegory of the cave, who can only see shadows on a wall. This analogy is helpful in reminding us that just because we don't see the full reality of someone else's feelings or situation doesn't mean that reality doesn't exist. It's a call to broaden our perspectives and attempt to perceive beyond our limited viewpoint. Empathy requires us to listen actively and open-heartedly, putting aside our judgments. It's about more than understanding someone's feelings. It's about truly appreciating their emotional experience. For example, if a coworker seems unreasonably upset about receiving constructive feedback, understanding their background might reveal that they've previously been in an environment where such feedback was used punitively, not supportively. Recognizing this can transform our response from one of irritation to one of supportive communication, helping to build trust and a more positive work environment. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, taught a lot about the power of understanding and perception. He suggested that everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact, and everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. This philosophy can guide us in interactions where lack of empathy is at play. By remembering that our understanding of a situation is based on our perceptions, we can open ourselves to the possibility that there are other equally valid ways of looking at the same situation. In practical terms, applying Stoic wisdom to everyday interactions involves pausing before reacting, considering the other person's possible perspectives, and responding with a reasoned and compassionate approach. For instance, when someone cuts us off in traffic, instead of immediately reacting with anger, we can consider scenarios that might explain their behavior. Maybe they are rushing to an emergency. This doesn't excuse the behavior, but it does help manage our response to it, reducing unnecessary anger and stress. Moreover, empathy extends to how we handle conflicts and misunderstandings. It's the difference between a conversation that escalates into an argument and one that leads to mutual understanding and resolution. By practicing empathy, we not only alleviate immediate tensions, but also foster longer-term relationships characterized by mutual respect and understanding. Developing empathy and understanding is about more than just avoiding negative feelings towards others. It's about actively cultivating positive, supportive interactions. It's a skill that enhances not just personal relationships, but every social interaction we engage in, from casual acquaintances to deep friendships and professional connections. Number 7. Competition or rivalry. This is something we've all felt at some point, right? Maybe you recall the tension between team members striving for a promotion, or even siblings vying for attention at home. It's a natural part of human dynamics that, while it can spur us on to improve, can also lead to some pretty intense emotions. Aristotle had a lot to say about this. He viewed rivalry as a challenge that, when approached with virtue, could lead to personal excellence. He believed that through competition, individuals are pushed to develop the best versions of themselves. But there's a catch. When the desire to win overshadows ethical considerations, it can corrupt our character and relationships. Take, for instance, a sports team where two athletes are contenders for the captaincy. Healthy competition might involve each striving to outperform the other through improving their skills and leadership qualities. However, if this rivalry turns bitter, it could lead to actions like undermining each other or hoarding knowledge that might benefit the team. This is where the difference between constructive and destructive competition comes into play. Stoicism offers valuable insights into managing competitive urges. Consider Marcus Aurelius, who advised, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Applying this to rivalry means that even when competing, we should maintain our integrity and avoid descending into petty tactics or resentment. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own actions and growth, rather than being consumed by the need to surpass others. It's about recognizing that our true competition is with ourselves, to become better than we were yesterday, not just better than someone else. Now consider the workplace again. When competition for a promotion turns cutthroat, it might lead to secretive behavior, gossip, or even sabotage. This not only harms personal relationships, but can also create a toxic work environment. On the other hand, if this competition is guided by Stoic principles, it encourages transparency, mutual respect, and a focus on personal merit and teamwork. Here, rivalry becomes a way to elevate standards, where each person's success is seen as a collective victory. Furthermore, Stoicism helps us handle the outcomes of competition. Whether we win or lose, we can remain grounded. Winning should not inflate our ego, and losing should not crush our spirit. It's all part of life's flux, and our worth is not determined by our victories or defeats, but by how we handle them. This Stoic resilience is crucial in maintaining long-term professional relationships and personal well-being amidst ongoing competitive pressures. In our personal lives, rivalry can appear in subtle forms. Perhaps friends competing over who has a more extravagant lifestyle or whose children are more accomplished. This too requires a Stoic balance. By focusing on genuine well-being rather than external appearances, we can cultivate contentment that isn't reliant on comparisons. Competition and rivalry, when approached with a Stoic mindset, can be transformed from a potential source of conflict into a catalyst for growth and excellence. It challenges us to elevate our standards ethically and respectfully, ensuring that in our pursuit of success, we do not lose sight of our values and humanity. Number 8. The influence of social expectations. Social expectations can really shape how we live and interact, can't they? Whether it's cultural norms, family traditions, or societal pressures, we're often molded by the expectations of others, sometimes without even realizing it. These influences can be so powerful that when someone steps outside these norms, it can lead to discomfort or even outright conflict among peers or within communities. Take, for example, someone deciding to pursue a career in the arts in a family that has traditionally valued careers in law or medicine. This decision might be met with skepticism or disappointment, not necessarily because the family doesn't believe in artistic pursuits, but because it deviates from their expected path. Plato touched on this in his discussions on societal roles and the importance of everyone in a state doing what they are naturally suited to do, rather than what society expects them to do. In situations like these, Stoicism offers a particularly useful perspective. Stoics advocate for living in accordance with one's true nature and rational thought, rather than merely conforming to external pressures. They teach us to question the status quo and to determine whether these societal expectations align with our personal values and rational understanding of the world. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, emphasized the importance of acting in accordance with one's own nature and virtue, rather than being driven by the desires and opinions of others. Imagine now a young person from a culturally conservative background wanting to marry someone of a different faith or lifestyle. The backlash from their community can be intense, stemming from a collective expectation of homogeneity. Here, the challenge is not just for the individual facing the backlash, but also for the community to examine the rigidity of their expectations. Stoicism encourages us to understand and respect the freedom of others to choose their own path, highlighting that true harmony arises not from uniformity, but from the respectful coexistence of diversity. Moreover, Stoic teachings remind us that while we cannot control the opinions or expectations of others, we can control our responses to them. We can choose to respond with patience, clarity, and integrity, maintaining our self-respect even when facing social disapproval. This Stoic resilience not only helps individuals navigate through societal pressures, but also sets a precedent for others who might find themselves in similar situations. Furthermore, in today's globalized world, where different cultures and perspectives intermingle more than ever, the influence of social expectations is both a challenge and an opportunity. It's an opportunity to challenge outdated norms and to foster a more inclusive and diverse societal framework. This echoes the Stoic idea that wisdom comes from the willingness to learn from all, not just from those who are like us. Stoicism thus provides the courage to live authentically, encouraging us not to conform blindly, but to reflect deeply on what truly matters to us. It teaches us to be true to ourselves and to uphold our values, even when they go against the grain of societal expectations. In doing so, we not only affirm our own dignity, but also expand the boundaries of what is considered acceptable, gradually transforming societal expectations themselves. Number 9. The lack of recognition. Ever felt unappreciated or overlooked despite putting your heart and soul into something? It's a common experience, and it can leave you feeling quite resentful, especially when the effort goes unrecognized. This lack of recognition can seep into various aspects of life, whether it's a project at work, a role in a family event, or even a contribution to a community effort. When people don't acknowledge your efforts, it can feel like they don't value you or what you bring to the table. Aristotle talked about the importance of recognition in his concept of honor and virtue. He believed that recognition from others is a reflection of one's virtue and excellence. When our contributions are acknowledged, it's not just about feeding the ego, it validates our efforts and reaffirms our place within a social or professional circle. It tells us that what we do matters, not just to ourselves, but to others as well. For example, imagine someone who has been part of a volunteer group for years, consistently dedicating time and energy. If their contributions are continuously overlooked, not only might they feel undervalued, but it could also demotivate them from future participation. Here, the lack of recognition isn't just a personal slight, it affects the overall morale and can even impact the group's effectiveness. Stoicism offers a unique approach to dealing with these feelings. While recognition is nice, Stoics would argue that our self-worth shouldn't hinge on external validation. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that true satisfaction comes from knowing you have lived up to your own standards and virtues. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury, he stated, suggesting that our response to being overlooked should be focusing on our internal evaluation rather than external approval. Applying this Stoic wisdom means maintaining our commitment to our values and efforts regardless of recognition. It teaches us resilience and self-reliance, reinforcing that our actions should be guided by personal integrity and not by the anticipation of applause. This perspective is incredibly liberating because it shifts the focus from what others think to what we know about ourselves and our contributions. However, it's also important to communicate openly about our needs for recognition. In a workplace, for instance, expressing to a supervisor that feedback and acknowledgement are important for your professional growth can pave the way for better communication and appreciation. It's about finding a balance between not relying solely on external validation, but also not neglecting the natural human desire to be recognized. Moreover, being proactive in recognizing others' efforts can foster a culture of appreciation around us. When we make it a point to acknowledge and celebrate others' contributions, we not only make them feel valued, but also set a standard for how interactions and recognitions should be handled within our communities or teams. While the lack of recognition can be disheartening, Stoicism helps us anchor our self-esteem in our virtues and actions rather than in external validation. By embodying this principle, we empower ourselves to continue making meaningful contributions, regardless of whether they're always noticed or celebrated. This approach not only strengthens our emotional resilience, but also encourages us to appreciate and recognize the value in others, creating a more supportive and appreciative environment for everyone involved. Remember, while our journeys are intertwined with those around us, the true path to understanding and resilience lies within. By embracing Stoic principles, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and fortitude, transforming obstacles into opportunities for personal growth. Thank you so much for joining me today on Stoic Journal. If you found this discussion enlightening, please check out one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue exploring the rich world of Stoic philosophy. Your engagement and thoughts enrich our community, and I'm grateful to share this journey with you. Until next time, stay strong and live wisely.